Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. हम अवगुण परे एक गुण नाही, अमृत छाड़ बिखे बिख खाही, माया मोह परम पै पूले, सुतदारा स्यो प्रीत लगाई। एक उत्तम पंथ सुनियो गुर संगत, त्रह मिलंत जम त्रास मिटाई। एक अरदास पाठ कीरत की, गुरु रामदास राखो सरनाई। गुरु रामदास राखो सरनाई। गुरु प्रसाद संग रहमत के फतेह जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। So, I'm going to start off with a funny story. It's a funny story about this kid that turned up to Sikhi camp 13 years ago. 21 at university, didn't even know what the Mool Mantra meant. You know, I'd never really done any part. Mostly, when I used to go home on the weekends from university, if his mum hadn't made chicken, he'd be cussing her and saying, "What kind of Punjabi are you?" Yeah, you met those kinds of people before, yeah. And then a week later, after Boss Camp 2000, Maharaj Kirpa took Amrit. The day after camp. So that's how my life changed with these camps. You know? It's just, and I had to start from scratch. Some of you guys might be thinking, I got to start from scratch. But imagine having to do your Panjabaniya properly and not know any Gurmukhi in the first place. So it was a bit of a deep end leap. But Maharaj Kirpa, you know, I took some time out from university, went and learned Punjabi, learned Gurbani, and then carried on my normal life. This oneness, so I've kind of broken that down into Vaheguru, Guru, and the Sikh. Because that's the trilogy of Sikhi, isn't it? You got Vaheguru, you got Guru, and you got us trying to follow Guru and get to Vaheguru. And it's all about oneness. Now, the lens. How can we, before we even approaching this topic, there's certain things that we have to sort of bear in mind. You know, you might introduce somebody to somebody else. First thing you say before they even get to know that person, know what's good about them, the first thing they'll want to know is, who is this person? You know? So you might say, this is like, you can imagine Tan Guru Gobind Singh Ji, when they were only 4 years old, getting introduced to Guru Tegh Bahadur and being told, this is your father. You know, that kind of thing. The lens that we have to have, especially for those that are sick. How do we see this? The first thing is to understand that God sent Guru. Some people have started to say Sikhism is a man-made religion, yeah, because we're not drumming this into our kids from a very young age. Before they need to understand what Guru Sahib said, these 3 things need to be drummed into everybody. God sent Guru. Maharaj Pai Gurdas says, "Suni pukar datar prabhu Guru Nanak jak mai pathaya." That God heard the cries of the people in the world and sent Guru Nanak into the world. The second thing is that Gurbani is now coming from Guru, from God. Guru Ramdas says clearly to those Sikhs of his, he says, "Satgur ki bani, sat kar jano gur sikho." O Guru Sikhs, accept the Guru's bani as a truth upon the truth. Har karta aap moh kadai. That God is taking those words out of Guru's mouth. Guru Ramdas is not a liar. Guru Ramdas says the bani is being taken out of his mouth by God. That means it's Turki bani. Yeah, it's Akash Bani, it's coming from God. So it's revelation. Yeah. Then God started Sikhi. And the answer is up there, isn't it? We all sing it in Ardas, right? But sometimes we don't know. You say it, look, let's say it together. Agya paiya kal ki tabe chalayo panth. Stop. Agya means the order. Order came from God, then the panth was started. Now you could say, well, it means the Khalsa Panth, but also Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, Nanak Nirmal Panth Chalaya. He started a Panth as well. So who started that Panth? God. And then we get the idea, actually I didn't put it up there, but Guru Nanak is sent by God as well. At that time, when he was 27 years old, Maharaj went into the river. At that point, they got told by God, here's your job, you are now the Guru. So Guru was made Guru by God as well. Some of our kids don't know about this. I ask people all this time, who made Guru Nanak Dev Ji your Guru? And they're like, what? Say that again. Who made Guru Nanak Dev Ji a Guru? And they're like, I don't know. Did he just do it himself? No. Yeah. Guru Nanak Dev Ji calls himself a Taddi. He says, "Haun Taddi vekar kare laya." On Ang 150. Great Shabad to read, yeah? Maharaj says, I was an unemployed Taddi. Some of you guys might be unemployed, right? You might have a job, like a skill. So you're an unemployed programmer or something, yeah? Maharaj says, I'm an unemployed Taddi. I got given a job by God. Yeah? And Taddi kare pesao Shabad vajaya. Taddi sent out to spread out and sing the Shabad. So once that's done, the second thing is, who is Guru then? So who made Sikhi God? Who is Guru? Guru is perfect. Bani says perfect. Clearly, Pullan andar sabko apul Guru kartar. Anybody can make a mistake, but not Guru and not God. So Guru is perfection personified. And also, not only is Guru perfect, Guru is one with God. The Shabad that came up 2-3 days ago, they were saying Kirtan, where always Jagare man jagan hare. The last stuk of that, it says Gur par Brahm Paramesar Aap. He himself, he is actually Par Brahm Paramesar. Aap pe aaya. Bhai Sukhrat Singh was talking, he did a katha, he said, in a battle, sometimes you get the lower soldiers get sent out, then the generals and artillery, and then finally the king must step into the forge, into the battle himself, because now something needs to be done. So the king himself has come now. All the other punts came before, they didn't get people to join to Naam. Christians have forgotten what Naam was about. They say, hallowed be thy name, but they don't know what Naam is. Asal vich, bhakti nahi karde. So therefore, the God himself has come now. The king has come, aap pe aaya, to solve the problem of Kaljug. Then, he is the moon. The moon reflects the sun, right? Waheguru is the sun, Guru is the moon. He reflects that light perfectly. But he's a full moon. Not only that, a moon is required at night. Yeah? So this is Kaljug. In that night of Kaljug, which is Kud Amavas Vartya in Bani. Amavas is that night with no moon. Moonless night. In that night with no moon, the moon has come up now. Chand Chadiya. You know when we sing Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Shabad when it's their birthday, and we sing that Shabad, Miti tund jag chanan hoya, Chand Chadiya. Kyo Chand Chadiya? Why not something else? Why Chand? Because it's night time and he reflects the sun. And then why do we follow Guru? A lot of people don't translate this word properly, Guru Prasad. Guru has the power to do Kirpa. Simple. Yeah? And Guru can do such Kirpa, he can merge us with God. Gur Kirpa, Jeh Narko Kini, Te Eh Jugat Pishani. The person who gets Kirpa, they understand this. What is that? Nanak leen payo gobin so jo pani sang pani. You can merge with God like water and water. Okay, so some truths about the soul. Some of this will be quite basic, yeah? Alright, but it's good to get that covered. Then we're going to go into something exciting in a little while about the Panch Khands, okay? And how does that relate to Sikhi and the last Pauri Japji Sahib. So we'll kind of blaze through this because I'm sure you would have been aware of some of this stuff. The first thing is separation. We were once one and now we have to go back. You know that Shabad that says, Jaisa Satgur Sunida Taiso Hi Main Deet. Then, Vichhadya Mele Prabhu Har Darge Ka Baseet. Vichhadya. Asi vichhade hoye hege. Any ki Rab nu milna ya. We're not going to meet God. We're going to go back to God. So it's just remembering. We talked about that in the Katha. It said remembering that we were once part of God and now going back. So that truth has been forgotten. We forgot that we were separate. That we've been separated from God. And reincarnation. So the pain is inside us actually of that. And then reincarnation. That there's 8.4 million lives. And this system of life and death is just normal. We don't know who we were in it. Some of you guys might know who you were in your past life. I certainly don't know. Could have been anything. Who knows who I was married to? Who knows who my kids were? Who knows what animal I was? I don't remember any of it. It was so important to me back then, now I don't remember any of it. So what's important about this life? In the next life, we won't remember anybody maybe that we think is so important. Then Maharaj carries on, he says that the human aim is this rare chance to actually meet God. And you know, anybody play PUBG? Just put your hands up if you ever played PUBG. Punjabi game, innit? No? Tusni kade kheli PUBG? Chalo. That's only half of you guys. I'm a bit disappointed, sorry. I quite like PUBG, it's a great game. You know with PUBG, yeah? Those that know, you have to play the game. When it's your turn, you can't skip. Thode kol card nahi hege na, you have to pick up. And that big pile just gets bigger and bigger. The aim is to avoid that big pile. And the minute you don't play, you just pick it all up. So now, in this human life, it's the same thing. You have to play the game, or you have to pay the price. There's no escaping. Ya naam karo, ya na karo. But you have to do one or the other. It's binary, innit? Either you have to go into naam or not do naam. Either way, you get something for it. With naam, you get the gift of connection to God, the best thing ever, and mukti. With not naam, you just get pain and suffering. Yeah? There's no ways you can escape that. You can't dig your head in the sand like an ostrich and say, la, 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 I never heard this. Yeah? That's no excuse. Huh? So, ocean analogy. I'm going to just give a quick analogy. For this, I just want you guys to close your eyes for a second, yeah? Okay? Now I want you to imagine you're like this, you know those plastic balls you get? Yeah? And they just float in the water. Right? So you're just floating. Now I want you to imagine you're just floating on top of the ocean. Okay? Just nice, Bob. And it's everywhere all around you is just the ocean. It's lovely, nice, calm, no big waves, very calm, peaceful. Now, I want you to imagine that inside you, like this ocean around you is God. It's very loving, very peaceful. Now, inside you, I want you to fill yourself up with water as well. Yeah? And that's God as well. It's all inside and it's all around you. Now, because it's filled up with water, the ball sinks. Yeah? And it sinks, it goes inside the water. But you can breathe in water because it's just Waheguru. And now we're surrounded by Akal Purukh Waheguru all around us and inside us. And it's everywhere, in fact. That's where we are. We're inside God. How can you be separate from God? Hannah? You can open your eyes now in case you're wondering. We're not inside, we're not outside of God. Most religions have this concept that God is outside. But we're inside. He's inside and outside, all around us. So now what's this thing that's separating us? That plastic film all around us, yeah, that's like the glass and needs to be shattered. That's Homme. Homme, that word is an amalgamation of two words. Hon is I. Hon vari, hon varne, hon kurbane ja mehrwana. Yeah? I. And then meh is me. Meh, meh, meh. Yeah, like a sheep. That's what we keep thinking, like a sheep. Meh, meh, meh. Now, Maharaj is saying, hon meh. You keep thinking about we keep thinking about ourselves. It's self-centeredness. All the Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar in this world all stems from this. This is much deeper than just ego. It's not Ahankar. It's actually self-centeredness thinking. It's much deeper than just Ahankar. And then the next thing, Maharaj says that this is what causes separation. This is the bit that causes separation. Thinking about ourselves all the time. Most of the things, whenever we have Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, we're just thinking about ourselves. The Maharaj says, what's the solution? The solution, Maharaj says, is Naam. Homme, Nave, Naal, Viruddh hai. Doina vase ek thai. This is a quote from Bani. Maharaj says, Homme and Naam, yeah, they're like enemies. You know, in your families, there's people in your families that are enemies. Yeah? They do not get along. You stick two people of those type in the room, in one room, one goes in, next one comes out. And usi waqt, oh, aa gaya, I'm off. Isn't it? Homme and Naam are like that. They don't like each other at all. Yeah? Naam comes in, Homme is out. Homme comes in, Naam's out. So these two things, they don't, Homme, Nave, Naal, Viruddh hai. They don't like each other. Viruddh means to be against each other. And then, Doina vase ek thai. They don't stay in the same place. So we have the choices. Binary code is this, either Homme or Naam. Now, Naam is an awkward word to translate because it doesn't just mean the name. Hallowed be thy name, yeah? But naam is effectively is connection. Yeah? An easy way to understand it, it's my translation, is connection. When you're connected to God, you're in naam. When you're separated from God, you're in hommi. So Maharaj is saying, when you connect to God, then that separation goes, which makes sense, right? When you're separated from God, then that connection goes. So being God-focused and trying to merge with the Kalpurk Vaheguru is our aim. And then the last thing, the truth about the soul thing, is Dasam Dwar. Now this one is funny because, can you just put your hands up? If you just put your hands up, everybody, not just, it's just a hands up game, it's not a question. Okay, just put your hand on top of your head. Just do that, it's quite nice. Now, how many, if you just put your hand down, if you know you're touching your Dasam Dwar. If you know that this is your Dasam Dwar, just put your hand down. Okay. If you don't know, just keep your hand up. Just keep it there. Okay. Right. Basically, there's still people in our Panth that don't know about this thing. In fact, when I go to universities to do talks, it's normally about 50%. Once I went to one university, there was 2 people in that room of about 50 people that knew this Dasam Dwar. And one of them had learned it from watching the video about the mobile phone. Now that's a crying shame. You know? It's crying to the point where Maharaj would be, rona aa jana. This is the halat of the Sikhs nowadays. They don't even know the A, B, C, D of the soul. Ki hai ki? Ho ki reha? What is this body? Maharaj is saying, Har mandar eh sareer hai. This body is the temple of God. And this temple, we have eyes to see, we have ears to hear, but things are everywhere. We only see them with our eyes. Sound is everywhere. We only hear it with our ears. So God is everywhere. But we experience Him at the Dasam Dwar. Yeah? Now, why I said this thing about the eyes and the ears, yeah? Because somebody asked me this question, and I forgot that answer at that point. There I was, did a katha, come out, Uncle Ji, properly missionary, grabbed hold of me and started moaning about my using the word Dasam Dwar. He says, doesn't make any sense. God is everywhere. God is everywhere. Why do you have to only feel Him at one place? Why is He only at one place? And I didn't have the answer then. I said, I don't know. Don't you feel it? That's all I could ask him. Because what's he going to say? Yes or no, innit? So I just left it. Point being, that is actually where it is. And it's just like the 9 doors are a specific spot, the 10th one's at a specific spot. Yeah? But it gives you a clue what you're supposed to do with it. And it's to connect. Now it's gupt, it's hidden. So if somebody was Monna and they were Ganja, and you look top of their head with a microscope, you're not going to spot it. But you can see the eyes. Oh, gupt hai. Actually gupt hai. We've covered it up because this big hole in our head there and then. It's actually gupt. Now Maharaj says that it's an experience of the divine. Sikhi is about experiencing God. It's not about believing in God. It's about that, iPhone. Here's an iPhone, here's an iPod Touch. Now iPod Touch cannot connect to anybody. But the iPhone, stick it onto airplane mode, it can't connect to anybody either. So all we want to do is switch the airplane mode off and connect. Otherwise, what's the point of human life? So that's what Maharaj is trying to do. Wake us up to connect. So we're increasing our perception basically. And it's like, if you close your eyes now, for a second, you can hear my voice, so I must obviously be here, but I could be miles away, and the speaker system could be here. All the people around you could not be here. When you open your eyes, you see that they are here. That's like Gyan. We're going to go to Gyan Khand in a minute. Gyan is about realizing what is actually there and what is not actually there. The problem is, we think we know because we can see. But Maharaj is saying, Sanu kuch nahi pata. Gur bin kor andar, Guru bin samajh na aave. It's this kind of light which is a spiritual ignorance Maharaj is talking about. Okay. So, right at the beginning of Japji Sahib, Maharaj poses this question to us. Maharaj says, Kiv sachiara hoiye, kiv kude tutte pal. How do I become truthful to who I am? And how do I break the wall of falsehood? Remember that plastic ball that was floating in the water? That's the barrier. and it's made out of falsehood. Kood di pal. Pal means wall. So we're trying to break down this wall of falsehood. This wall that separates us from God. That's homme. Kiv sachiara hoye kiv kude tutte pal. It's actually how do I destroy homme. And Maharaj says, Hukam rajai chalna. Nanak likhiya naal. I'm not very good with diagrams, but I put this diagram up there. Can we all see it, yeah? 2 circles, right? Kind of. Should have made it a different color. What? See, the question, Maharaj says, walk in the will. And most people say, walk in the will of God. Because Raja, hai na? He's the Rajai. Yeah? So pa saha, saha pa sahib Nanak, rehna rajai. He stays in control. So walk in the will of the one who's in control. God. Yeah? But then the thing next it says, Nanak likhya naal. Bani is written, isn't it? Bani is gifted to us in a written form. Likhya hai. So walk alongside Gurbani. That's Guru's hukum. So what I try to do is do this. I don't even know it's going to go, that laser pointer. This is Vaheguru's hukum. If you were to read a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it has this concept that there's a sphere of concern. These are all the things that we're concerned about. I'm sure if I ask you to close your eyes for a second and think about all those things you're concerned about, that's going to be a very big circle indeed, yeah? Might have Punjab in it, your family, university, your career, the world, environment. What about what you can actually do? What can you actually affect yourself on a day-to-day basis? That's going to be a smaller circle, isn't it? Much smaller. Mostly it's going to consist of me. I can probably only control myself. Yeah? So then, that's basically Guru Sahib telling us. Except Vaheguru's hukum, the bit that we can't change. Yeah? Hukum andar sab ko, bahar hukum na koi. We can't change that hukum. Whatever's happening is happening. And then, Guru's hukum. Except Guru's hukum. Walk in Guru's hukum. The second part often doesn't get translated in there. But hukum must mean Guru's hukum. And why I've put it up there is, basically the question is, what is God's will for me? I believe that the Sikh concept of this, God's will for us, is to follow Guru. What God wants from a Sikh is to follow Guru and do what Guru says. Because Guru and God are one. And then, what is, it says, Nanak hukme je bujai, ta home kahe na koi. Maharaj says, if you understood hukum, your ego would stop speaking. Your ego would go. So what is it about hukum, if we understood, that would kill our home? And that's this. Eko naam hukum hai. Nanak Satgur diya bujai jiyo. The naam is the hukum. Guru's hukum is naam. And when you get naam, it kills home. That's why if we understand hukum, then our home doesn't speak. If we understand hukum, we go to naam. Hukum naam hai. Eko naam hukum hai. And Guru makes us understand this. So Guru's hukum is naam. Yeah. So whenever we see that word, hukum is saying follow naam. What's Guru's hukum is always going to be naam. And the first hukum that comes up, does anybody know what the first hukum of Bani is? The very first hukum. Put your hand up if you can. Just throw one up there. Hanji. No. That's alright. That's a good guess. Hanji. No, that's not the hukum. That's Akash Bani. Ek Onkar to Gur Prasad is Akash Bani. It's a Maha Mantra spoken by God to Guru Nanak. Hanji. No, that's not hukum. Jap. Jap. The very first word that Guru Sahib puts down after the Akash Bani from Ek Onkar to Gur Prasad, Maharaj says Jap. Gur Prasad di Jap. From the Guru's grace, O nu japo fir. है ना जप ओ उत्थे औंकड़ भी हैगा जप ओ who him who is he आदि सच जुगादि सच है पी सच नानक होसी पी सच. The first hukum is jap. Japo ta eko nama avar nirafal kama. Koi faida nahi. So basically Maharaj says naam will destroy homme, follow Guru is to get naam. Satgur Sikh ko naam tan de gur ka Sikh vadbhagi hai. So Sikhi is all about naam. Nanak ke kar keval naam. Sikhi is about naam. If we follow Guru, we will get naam. Because Guru Sahib will bless us. So Sikhi is this. Follow Guru to get Naam. Get Naam, break your ego, become one with the God Puruk Vaheguru. Satguru Sikh ko naam tan de. And then, how lucky are we? Gur ka Sikh vadbhagi hai. Maharaj says next. Okay. Now, why is submitting to Guru the path to enlightenment? Why is that? You could just say, well, somebody came up to me and he goes, I don't need a Guru. I'm quite alright doing it by myself. Yeah. Now the thing is, I am quite alright doing it by myself is all homme. Yeah. The sentence itself doesn't make any sense. Because to remove the I is the goal, isn't it? Homme is the problem. Homme dirag rog hai, the worst disease. Daru pi isma hai. So the solution to homme can't be living in homme, but they need a little bit of homme. And we talked about this. A little bit of homme that we need is to give ourselves to Guru. Submission. When I give myself to my Guru, I take my ego out. And I accept whatever he says. Submitting to God is the same as submitting to Guru. Guru only tells you exactly what God wants to tell you. Because the words are Akash Bani. Maharaj lives that life of pure Naam. Yeah? Submitting to Guru is submitting to God. There's no difference. If you want to give yourself to God, give yourself to Guru. He's God in that sense. Yeah? There's no difference. Now Maharaj says, look, we have this word comes up. Who's ever heard that shabad? Satguru ki seva ga khadi. Yeah? Sir dije aap gawai. Have you heard that word before? That shabad? Guru seva is very hard. It comes up loads of times. Even bin Satguru seve bahota dukh lage. Without serving Guru. Now the word servant is important to understand. A Sikh is a servant of the Guru. Sevak Sikh savai kartar. A Sikh is a servant. You can't do seva unless you're a servant. I'm going to just repeat that. I know we're doing seva here, washing up and stuff like this, yeah? But just understand that the mere fact that someone gives themselves to their Guru means that they become a servant of the Guru. And when we live in service as a servant, then everything is Naam. Everything is seva. Yeah? It's not possible that someone could... It is possible people do... Have you met people that do seva and get a bit of hankar from it? Like, my seva, main bahut seva kiti. Yeah? You see, so the washing up the pande didn't kill that person's ego, did it? Yeah? So then, what kills the ego? Becoming a servant. So wherever you see this word, ki sevak banna, seva karni, try to think of it, to put the lens in the front, ki servant banna, fir seva karni. To do service, it's about being a servant. It's not about washing up pande in a gurdwara. Although I'm not cussing that, that's obviously important. But the first thing is to make ourselves a servant in the head, to accept Guru as the master. You can't have a servant who hasn't got a master. So the first thing is to accept Guru as a master, and that's why Satguru ki seva ga khadi. Being a servant of the Guru is hard. Doing seva of Guru is hard. Why is it hard? Sir dije aap gawai. Give yourself up, give your head, and then lose the ego. The Maharaj carries on. Okay, so here's a question, yeah? Guruji, is he just showing the way, or he is the way? I remember Arvind Pal Singh Mandey, one of our academics in Sikh, quite a good talk he did years ago. And he goes, the great thing about Bani is that it's not just showing you the way. It is the way. And it took me a long time to get my head around that. Look, think about it, yeah? Every other Taram book, every other book will give you a book of instructions how to get to God. Theek hai na? Agree with me? So you read the book and you get instructions and you go in your life and apply it. But Bani is not just a set of instructions. Singing Bani is the way to God. You can connect just by singing Bani. So Part is not just teaching you. That's why we read it again and again. People say, I don't know why we read Part every day. Just read it once, enough, innit? I got the message. It's not trying to give you the message. It's trying to make you do Bhakti through Part. That's the power of Bani. Bani is the way to God, and not just the theory about God. It is the way. And Guru is the way, and not just showing us the way. Now what's the Guru now? Because Bani is Guru. Guru now is Granth and Panth. Gurbani and the Guru himself. Yeah? The Guru Panth. The physical body of the Guru. Now, look, Gurbani shows the way and it is the way. Guru Khalsa, which gives us a Sangat, the Guru Mata, so Guru's it is the way to God. By serving the Khalsa, by becoming part of the Khalsa, it is the way to God. Alright. What I'm going to do now is go through the Panj Khands, because it's talked about oneness. And it'd be a bit amiss to not talk about Japji Sahib. Because Japji Sahib is Brahm Gyan, right? Now, has anybody gone through like Japji Sahib Katha themselves? Anybody? How many people in this room? Just even if you close your eyes for a second, because we're very shy, our Sikhs, yeah? If you just close our eyes for a second, no one look around, please, yeah? Just for me, if you could put your hand up if you've gone through Japji Sahib Katha by somebody. Oh, Guru. Oh, it's not good news, guys. Yeah? It's not good news. Japji Sahib is the foremost part. It's described as the whole essence of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Yeah? And it seems like probably only about 10% of our panth, of the ones that are interested, yeah? I count you guys as being interested, yeah? So only 10% here have gone through it. It's not good news, is it? Because that's the Brahm Gyan. I'm going to give you just one aspect of it. Mani talked about it on Monday. He talked about the 7 steps, 7 stages. I'm not going to go through each of them. It's the kathas, it's on the channel anyway. So Kras Singh talked about it as well on his channel, Sikh Inspiration, which is youtube.com/Sikh Inspiration, yeah? Sikh Inspiration, or our one. From Pauri 32 onwards, those 7 steps of Brahm Gyan are talked about. And these 7 steps are similar to what comes up in Vedantic thought as well. But they're slightly different. Maharaj just adds their own flavor. Vedanta has been around for a long time. Yeah. So the first one is Shubh Icha. Let it be know the 32nd Pauri. Check it out. See who's got the Japji Sahib Kant and knows the numbers. Anybody will hazard a guess? Come on. In India especially, they get tested on this kind of stuff, Ratta Kana. I was in India growing up. I came here when I was 11. Sab kuch ratta kala dene hai. Kids get tested on 7 baniya by the time they're about 11. 32nd Pauri. Alright, I'll tell you the answer. Benji's trying. You nearly got Ik du jibaho lakh ho hai, lakh ho vah, lakh vis. Shubh Icha. What is that nice desire? What's the best desire to have? It's in that body. Maharaj says, if I had 1 tongue, obviously I have, or I had 100,000 tongues, or 100,000 tongues, 2 million. What would I want to do with them? If I had that many tongues, what would I want to do with them? Hanji? Yeah. So best itcha is to jap naam all the time. Not the fact that, oh, chalo yaar, I got 2 tongues now, I can do chugli with 1. And then I can do naam with the other one. Or now I got 3, I can eat with 1, do chugli with 1, and then do naam with... No. If Maharaj said if I had more tongues, I would still do naam with each one. Ik du jibo lakh ho hai, lakh ho vah, lakh vis, lakh geda. Geda means repetition. Geda akhiye ek naam jagdish. Ek naam jagdish. And then this is the road. Et rahe pat pavdiyan. Pati di paudiyan hegiyan. Pati is pat means pati parameswar. This is the road to meet Vaheguru. Chadiye hoye ekis. Ekmik hona, become one. Now, this is Shubh Icha. The best desire is to chant God's name. Then the next one is next body is, come on man. Aakh jor, chipeh na jor, jor na mangan, den na jor. Now jor means strength and power. This next one is Shubh Vichar. What's the best kind of vichar to have? Yeah? Maharaj says, they have something else in Vedanta. Maharaj says the best vichar to have is this. Ki, I got no strength, Vaheguru, everything is in your hands. Main kuch nahi hega, tusi kirpa karo. That's the best vichar to have. When they say the student is ready to learn, when the pot is empty, when the student is ready to learn, this pot is empty, Pehla maran kabul, जीवन की छड़ आस, होहे सबना की रैन का, तो आओ हमारे पास. Maharaj says, forget everything. Forget you know anything. Forget even life, death, anything. Forget even yourself. Then go to Guru and learn. Khali hoke. So that's Shubh Vichar. God is all powerful. We need His Kirpa. Jis had jor kar vekhe soe. And then don't discriminate. Nanak uttam neech na koi. Don't discriminate. Don't say, oh, ya tu to bahut hi mada. Tenu to sachkhand milna hi nahi. Yeah? He knows, innit? Uttam neech na koi. Don't judge. Hoye sabna ki rehne ka. Yeah? Now, the next 5 steps are in the Panch Khands. Okay? I'm going to quickly go through them and you're going to wonder, like, what's it got to do with gold? That's the next slide. Okay? So just think about the Panch Khands for now. The Katha of that's already on there. There's also an hour-long Katha of Panch Khands. I'm going to have to go through it not line by line, but as concepts, yeah, because we haven't got that much time. The first one is Taram. Taram means realizing that we are being judged. Yeah? That this earth is a place to earn karma, good karma. And Taram is righteousness for us. So good actions and good thought. Yeah? Don't just think it's about actions. Good actions and good thought. Karmi karmi hoye vichar. Our karams will get judged, are getting judged. Both our mental karam and our physical karam. We're earning karma with our thoughts. We're earning karma with our actions. Karmi karmi hoye vichar. Where? Sacha aap pe hi karuga. Sacha darbar. In his court, where the truth is going to be pargat. Utthe sache hi sach nibde. Chun vakh kade te jama liya. One park kar leni, who's right, who's wrong. So that's Taram Khan. Taram Khan means coming into some kind of maryada. Realizing that we are going to get judged and we need someone to teach us how to live. Yeah? Yesterday Kirtan was that, innit? From Guru, learn Shubh, Chaj Achar. Remember that? Yesterday's Kirtan? From Guru, learn Chaj Achar Sikh. So this is about Achar. Becoming a dharmi person who acts righteously and thinks righteously. That's Taram Khan. And then what happens, Maharaj says? If we start to come into some kind of maryada of our Guru, then you become a dharmi person. The next step, Maharaj says, is Gyan. Gyan Khan. In Gyan, the person starts to now use Guru's teachings, learn Guru's teachings properly. Not just think about them, chalo, I'll listen to a little bit. Properly studies Guru's teachings and thinks about it day and night. Ki main karna ki zindagi vich. Yeah? And also they start to do naam so much, they get Gyan, andro Gyan. Not just Guru's Gyan from the kitabs and the granths, but actually Gyan from inside. Okay? Spiritual wisdom. Then Maharaj says, what happens next? Saram. Saram's got 2 meanings as well. Just like Taram has got outside actions and inner actions, and Gyan has got Gyan from Guru's Bani and also inward Gyan from Naam, because Gyan Khand mein Gyan Parchand. And what's the Nishani? Gyan Khand mein Gyan Parchand, Tithe Naad, Binod, Kod Anand. You get loads of bliss and you see Kotaks happening all the time, and most importantly, you get to see the Anhad Shabad, the Naad. You hear it. Then Maharaj says next, Saram Khand. Now what's Saram Khand about? There's 2 meanings Saram as well. One is ki sharam karni. You see, before in Gyan Khand we go, wow, kete pavan pani vaisantar, kete kaan mein hes, kete var mein khard khadi hai, roop rang ke ves. We look outside, we go, wow, the world is so amazing. So much things in the world. And Saram we look in and we go, oh my God. Andar ki hai, oh my gosh. Saram aa jandi hai. We think, Maharaj, hum maile, tum ujal karte. We get sharam, we get some sharam for ourselves. But also, we put effort in now. Sharam also means effort. Saram jam lag, pavjal taran ke. Put all your efforts to crossing over this ocean. So this is the effort we put in. That effort is bhakti. So there's a bit of fear that we look inside and we go, oh my gosh, how much work do I need to have? I should have a sign on my head, work in progress. Yeah? And now we think, let's put the effort in, and with the effort, we get to fix up our mind. Tithe kadiye, surt, mat, man, buddh. The fourfold brain, the fourfold mind, yeah? Surt, mat, man, buddh. Tithe kadiye. Kadiye means like you have like if somebody's, painter. Oh no, not a painter. What's that? Sculpture. You give him a piece of rock, And I see a piece of rock and I think, nice rock. Sculpture sees a piece of rock and thinks, I could make a statue out of that. They see what they could make out of it, right? The sculpture is going to do the work, the sculpture, and make that beautiful. That's why Saram Khan ki Bani Roop is beautiful. Roop hai odi. But you can't speak about how amazing that Roop is. If you speak about it, Maharaj says, tusi pachtaoge. But the next thing is the 4 nishanis. Tithe kadiye, surt, mat, man, buddh. And tithe kadiye, sura, siddha ki sud. Sura, the sur, the Devi Devte. We get that kind of sud. Sud means understanding of the Devi Devte and the Siddhs, the yogis, the highly, from just that. And that's just level 3. Yeah? The Maharaj says next, Karam Khand. Karam is pure, like there's that song, Punjabi song, full Kirpa Bab Bedi. Yeah? What is it? It's a full Kirpa Bab. Karam Khand is all about Kirpa. Kirpa, 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 full Kirpa. Yeah? The person living in so much Kirpa that their Bani, their words, have power. Hold on. Remember Baba Buddha Ji was met by Mata Ganga Ji, the wife of Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. And he gave the bachan, after she did good seva, he gave the bachan, you will have a son who's going to smash his enemies like I smashed this onion. Yeah? Baba Buddha Ji's bachan came true, innit? At the front of our darbar, when we go Matha Tek, there's a line at the top that's by Gurdas Ji's Vara, talking about Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. And it says, Dal Panjan, Guru Surma, Vada Joda, Bahu Parupakari. That warrior Guru was born. Because Karam Khand ki Bani, Jor, they have power in their words, the people that get to this level. And it's all about love. Tithe hor na koi hor, tithe Jod, Mahabal Sur. They're warriors. They actually do things in this world, like our Shaheeds, these people that did this stuff, that's because they were at Karam Khand. They had Kirpa of Guru, they could cope with that kind of pain. They did stuff. Yeah? And then, Tin mein Ram rahya parpur. Full Kirpa. And then, Tithe Sito Sita Mehma Mahe. Sita and Ram is a love story. Utte Sita di gal ho rahi hegi hai. Sita and Ram is a love story. The Siddhs go to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, Guruji, you're talking about Ram, what about Sita then? Maharaj says, oh Ram nahi. That's not the Ram that you're talking about, Ramchandra. But there is a Sita there. Who's a Sita? The bride, the soul bride. And who is Ram? Akal Purkh. Tithe Sito Sita Mehma Mahe. There, that little soul who's a bride, is caught up, is sewn up in worship of Mehma, of Vaheguru. Tithe Sito Sita Mehma Mahe. We become that bride and we love God. Karam Khand is about love. Then Maharaj goes on. After that, Sachuk ho sun leo sabe, jine prem kiyo, then he prabh payo. That prem then prabh payo. Sachkhand. And such for us is Akal Purkh Vaheguru. Kev Sachiara hoi hai. This is such, isn't it? Kev Sachiara hoi hai. How do I get to Sachkhand? Kev Kude to Tepal. Then Maharaj also says, Shabad. Sachkhand is all about Shabad Khand. It's about Shabad becoming real. What Sach are we going to merge with? The Sach written on those angs. Those beautiful angs of our Guru. That's the Shabad we're going to become one with. Shabad Mare. We're going to die in the Shabad. Our ego is going to die in the Shabad. This is Shabad Khand. And where is Shabad Khand? Sad Sangat. Sach Khand Vasaya Nirankar. Sad Sangat, Shabad Khand, Vas Janda hai. Oh, Vas Janda hai. Not Vase Utte, Vase Ithe. We say in Har Aap Amulk hai, Mul na paya jaye, Mul na paya jaye, Kisse Vitto, Rahe, Lok Villai. Aisa Satguru je mile, Tisno Sir Sompiye, Vicho Aap jaye. Then, Jista Jio, Tis mil rahe, Har Vase mane aaye. Oh, Vas janda hai. What is saying? Oh, hey, Srira Meria, is jag mein aake kya tud karam kamaya? Tukma karam. Ke karam kamaya tud Srira ja tu jag mein aaya? Jin har tera rachan rachya. So har manna vasaya. Vas jave. Vas mere Gobinda. Vas mere pyarya. Sach khand vasay nirankar. Shabad Khand, Saad Sangat, O Vas Janda. This is the Kirpa of the Shabad. The O Vas Janda. Andri ho. We're going to find him inside us. So the oneness to the Shabad. Okay. Now what's interesting is, as soon as Maharaj explains this to us, they say these words. They go, Kathna Karada Sar. Edi Katha Karni Badi Okhi hai. To explain the essence, Maharaj says, Kathna Karada Sar. Okha hai. Karada means okha. Hard. Kathan. Now, Maharaj says, I'll give you an example though. I'll give you an example of purifying gold. That's the next body. Jat Pahara Tirij Sunyar. This is the example. Now that's why it's all about purifying gold. So Maharaj says, look, inside us is God, isn't it? Andar hi hega. But He's not there. Pargat nahi hoya. So gold needs to be purified as well. You know, when you go to a gold mine, you get a lump of rock. Gold is inside that rock. But you can't just put that on again. You're going to have to purify it. Don't just read the slide because you're going to jump on ahead. I haven't figured out how to press the next ones, yeah? I just type them in one go. So, the gold needs to be purified in order to get the gold out. So why does Maharaj use the analogy of the gold? Because you know, when you purify gold, it ain't easy for the gold. Poor gold. What gold has to go through, you would not believe. Yeah? To get purified, gold has to go through a lot of pain. It gets put into a really hot fire, gets smashed by rocks, smashed and get everything off that you don't need, and then finally the gold survives the purification. Only gold survives. Everything else that was dross, that's why it's called dross, yeah, is taken off, and then you end up with 22 karat gold. Or if you purify even more, you get 24 karat gold. So gold is always purified in a very awkward way. In the old days, they used to use fire. Nowadays, they use acid. Yeah? So it's still the same thing. Gold has to be purified through pain. This marag of Sikhi is very hard. Maharaj is telling us, marag okha hai. Bhagtan ki chal nirali. It's okhi chal hai because you have to get purified. The Maharaj goes through how is it going to happen. So the first step is, we need that bloke to do the work, and we need the shop where he's going to do it. Jat pahara tiraj sunyar. So we need that goldsmith and that smithy. We're going to do the work. Maharaj says control and patience. You need those first. It's a bit like Dharam Khand, isn't it? Coming into Maryada, being patient, controlling your mind, controlling your actions, patience. Chill. Stay in Guru's Maryada. Jo Guru ke hai, so hi palamano. Yeah? Accept whatever Guru Sahib is saying. Tera kiya, meetha lage. Stay in hukum. Don't go outside hukum. That's all about Dharam Khand. That's what Maharaj is. There's 5 steps. If you look at that body, there's 5 lines. The last one is Khadiye Sabad Sachi Taksal. So it is actually about the Panch Khands, but it's hard to work out. So the first one is Ki, the goldsmith and the smithy, we need to have control and patience. Then Maharaj says, you need a hammer. Ahran mat ved hatyar. You need a hammer and you need this anvil that you're going to smash. The mind is the gold ore, yeah? Jinu kaam karna na, it's that ore, mind. Onu todna hai, to break it and get the God out of it. So then the mind gets beaten up by 2 things. Guru's hammer and Guru's anvil. Gyan and what they did. You know, when we find out about our Guru, there's 2 things we need to know about our Guru. What did they do and what did they say? What they said is in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. What they did is in our itihas. So we need to learn our history. Otherwise we won't know what Guru Sahib did. You won't find out about Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji rescuing the people from Gwalior, from Guru Granth Sahib Ji. We have to read our itihas. So this bit is all about Guru's actions and Guru's word, which is why it's Gyan Khand, Gyan Lena. Yeah? So there the Hathyar is Ahran Mat, Guru's Mat, Ved Hathyar, Guru's Ved, Guru's Bani. Yeah? So we smash ourselves with that too. Then Maharaj says, then what you need to do for that gold, yeah? You need to get the fire really hot. To get the fire hot, you need some bellows. You know, the bellows are those big things they used to have like that, and you used to pump them and the air would go into the fire. And the more air you go in, the really hot it gets. So Maharaj says, Pao Khalla, fear of God. Fear, from looking inside and realizing how much work needs to be done, we get fear. Then, Agana, Agni, Tapatao. Tapatao is always part, puja, kirtan, simran, bhakti. So then we need to do that. That is the fear. It's fueled by fear, Maharaj says. It's not always fueled by love. Some people say, Darna nahi rabdo. Maharaj says, Jine man pao, te na man pao. Those who have fear, they have love. You know, we can say, I love my parents, but we go home and we just swear at them. Yeah? There's that famous Russell jokes clip about it. Russell Peters. It's too funny. Yeah? Think about it. That's what people like in the world, isn't it? They cuss their parents and stuff, but they say, oh, I love my mom. But dekho jis tarike gal karde hain. We would never dare. We would never dare to speak that way. Why? We got a bit of fear. And then that shows love as well, respect. So we have a bit of fear for God, we start to do bhakti. Because we look out inside and we realize, gosh, loads of work needs to be done here. Better get the bhakti going then. Yeah? So then Maharaj says, this is pao khalla, fear. Agana tapatao. The bhakti, the fire, is a bhakti. Then Maharaj says, now you know this gold ore, yeah? Now that you've smashed it into got all the rocks off it, then you've got the hot fire going. Next thing you do, you put it into this bowl. And that bowl will not melt. Yeah? The bowl will not melt, but the gold inside it will melt. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a metal bowl, yeah? So the mind goes into this bowl. Panda, pao, love. Love will hold us when we go into this bhakti. If we haven't got love, the bhakti will send us nuts. You met people, I'm sure, who've gone crazy from bhakti. They didn't start with love. They didn't build love. They didn't love their guru. They read so much part, they went off on one. They became Riddhi Siddhiyan. They thought they were guru. Yeah? They didn't stick to love. So pyar chaida. To get rid of that final bit of ego. Panda, pao, love. And then, amritit tal. Tal means to melt. It doesn't mean a tal that you block arrows with and stuff, yeah? Tal means to melt. Panda, pao, amrit, tital. Then we get amrit. Now why is this stage, like Saramkhand we said is effort, so they put the effort to do bhakti. Why is this stage a bit like Karamkhand? Because in Karamkhand, we get mukti. Karamkhand is about mukti. Na oh mare, na thage jaye. Jinke Ram base man mahe. Amrit ho gaye. The person has become amrit now. Because of that love and that bhakti, in that fire of bhakti, they get mukti. But they can go even one stage further, Maharaj says. Then they get to Kadiye Sabad Sachi Taksal. Shabad Khand, the last Khand of such. We get the Shabad. And then what that is, you know the gold, when it's really hot and it's melted inside that bowl, yeah? Then they just use a stick and they take off all the dross that comes to the top. And then it becomes pure gold, purified. Man Ram Kasvati Laya Kanchan So Vinna. The mind gets touched to God and then it comes out as 100% gold. So Vinna means 100%. This purification process is, Maharaj is talking about Shabad Khand, Sach Khand. And then you get the stamp. This coin is approved. Yeah? Khadiye Sabad Sachi Taksa. And the true mint, that is the Saz Sangat. See, the Saz Sangat, the blessing of the Saz Sangat will get approved up there. The blessing of Saz Sangat will be that we will get a Rab. Maharaj has put the Saz Sangat as the highest. Tan Tan Saz Sangat Haras Paya Mirjan Nanak Naam Pargas. So Japji Sahib has got all these things in there. And if we don't read Japji Sahib, we don't try to understand the katha of it, we won't understand the path we're trying to walk. We'll think, I've come to Amrit, right? That's it. Akal Mukti. Yeah? That's what happens nowadays. You get people thinking, that's it, I got it, bruv. Take an Amrit, innit? I'm on a Sachkhand Express. We have lots of people say that, that's it, Mukti. But look, this is the path described in Japji Sahib. Innit? Japji Sahib is talking here. Okay, it's my interpretation, but it's, a lot of, this is not my interpretation, comes from listening to other people's part, other people's katha. Gyani Pindrapal, Gyani Kulwant Singh, Sant Singh Maskeen. Yeah? They're Katha, and it's the same thing. So, Amrit is coming into Maryada, isn't it? Step 1, Taram Khan, Tarmi Hona. Any ki Amrit Shakan, basse, Amrit Nibana is all about Maryada. Controlling the mind, controlling the actions, that's just step 1. So Maharaj says, Sant ka marg, Taram ki paudi, ko vadbhagi paye. The road of the saints, which we just talked about now, Taram, righteousness, Maryada, is the first step. And we're lucky to get even that first step. We're very lucky indeed in this world to find a guru who can teach us the truth. But the next thing is all the hard work that needs to be done. Now here's the killer, yeah? At the end of all of this, Maharaj says, Khadi kadiye sabad sachi taksal. Then they say something else, which messes with our mind a bit. Maharaj goes, Jin ko nadar karam tinkar, Nanak nadri nadar nihal. Maharaj says, those who get Kirpa can do this. And through Kirpa, they just get nihal, nihal. Now basically, after all that we talked about, all the path, Maharaj says, it's only by Kirpa then. Unj nahi hundi. It's only by God's grace. That's a divine conundrum, isn't it? All this hard work we talked about, we got to do ourselves, to look at Bani, put ourselves to that purification fire. And the Maharaj says, only by Kirpa can it happen. See, at the beginning stages, we got to put in the effort, right? But there's a certain level of awareness in it that comes up as we go down that Bhakti Marg. We get to be more aware. And the awareness is, actually, it is all Kirpa. It is all Kirpa. So that takes away the Homme as well. Because there's every step in part, Kirtan, Simran, comes with Homme attached. But we keep saying those words, Jin ko nadar karam tinkar. It's all by your Kirpa, Maharaj. Thodi Kirpa. Keep that Shubh Vichar, ki akhan jor, chupe na jor, jor na mangan, den na jor na jeevan, maran hai jor na raj, mal, mansur, jor na surti, gyan vichar, jor na jugti, shute sansar. Jis hat jor, kar vekhe soe. Fir, Nanak uttam neech na koi. Judge nahi karna. Don't be judging other people. Up pe dekh lo. What's inside needs to be, what the work needs to be done. Ki fayda judging other people, just adding more power on your shoulders. So this is the path, that's my understanding of the path towards oneness. And the thing in all of this is that when it says Kirpa, Jinko another karam tinkar, it means Guru's Kirpa. It's Guru's Kirpa. We're looking for Guru's Kirpa. So the path of oneness is Vaheguru and Guru are one, and the Sikh is trying to become one with the Guru and one with the Akal Purkh Vaheguru. It is all about one. And I'll give you a story. Everybody heard of Asa Di Var? Have you heard of Asa Di Var? Yeah? A lot of people skip it, innit? As soon as nickname's over, back down, get the head down on the pillow. Yeah? Another couple, one or two hours before Japji Sahib again. Now, here's the thing about Asa Di Var that you might want to know. There's a little story about it. See, Asa Di Var, Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj started it. Var sloka naal, slok bhi mahle pehle ke likhe. So Maharaj, they met Sheikh Faridji's, I don't know, some 12th descendants of Sheikh Faridji. Sheikh Faridji was in 12th century. Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj obviously 14th, 15th century. So when the Maharaj went out traveling, it was already 15 or something. And they met Sheikh Faridji's descendant. And Sheikh Faridji's descendant says, who was the Sheikh Farid of the time, said, everything in the world has got duality. Maharaj says, no. I'll do a var on the one, by the one, to get you to oneness. So Asa Di Var is about oneness and not duality. That's why it addresses all the params in the world, all the pakhand that we do, yeah? All the pakhands in the world. And it addresses God as well, straight. It does everything in one. Because for us, the world and God and Akal Purkh Vaheguru is all united, it's all oneness. The Marg is all one. There's no duality. Miri, Piri are both one, actually. We now have two kirpans, but you could see it's a khanda, double-edged, but it's still one. So that's just a little bit. I added that in because I thought might as well, it might be a bit like, well, you can watch the video online anyway. And Maharaj Kirpa kare, Japji Sahib is very important, yeah? Whoever's katha you can listen to Japji Sahib, it's worthwhile making the steps to listen to somebody's katha, yeah? Because this is Guru's Bani. Maharaj says, Sikho Shabad Pyareo. Sikho, learn the Shabad. Sikho Shabad Pyareo, Janam Maran ki take. So let's learn the Shabad, and that way we can put the Shabad into practice. So I'm sure I made the mistake. I've got 15 minutes for questions, but please forgive my mistakes. There's some questions there. Deho sajan asisriya jo hove sahib syo mel. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh.